What's good? It's Alan with another video, and today I'm gonna show you my new camera setup for 2025, the Sony FX3. The Sony FX3 has been my dream camera probably since it came out. And in January of this year, I finally had the opportunity to buy it. So far on this camera, I filmed some commercials, then some music events, and then I also took it to Portugal to film some traveling. So I wanted to make a video about this camera for a long time, but I didn't just want it to be a basic unboxing because you can find many unboxings on YouTube. So I waited, and now I feel like it's the right time to tell you something about the camera, to tell you something about the rig that I use. So I haven't prepared any script for this video. I want it to be authentic. So first I'm gonna probably describe the rig, and then I'll tell you things that I like and things that I don't like. I've built some rigs before in the past, and I always felt like, you know, when I'm building a rig, I wanted to make it a cinema rig with many things. For example, rods, then some focus system, and the matte box, and many more. But when I did that, for example, with my Lumix GH5, it always takes so much time when I wanted to switch from handheld shooting to, for example, put it on a gimbal. So here with the FX3, I took a different approach. I wanted to be flexible. So for example, right now I have a handheld, and when I wanted to switch to gimbal, I just take this front part off, and then I can put it on a gimbal, and it takes just probably about 1 minute. So first I want to talk about the cage. So the cage that I'm using here is a SmallRig cage for a Sony FX3. And why I'm using a cage, you know, Sony FX3 is a cinema line, so it has some mounting points, but I feel like adding a few more mounting points is good. For example, also for this top handle. And also it's good for the safety because, you know, the camera costs a lot, so it just adds some more protection, I would say. The cage also came with this thing, which is a holder for HDMI cable, which is good because sometimes, you know, when you've done some moving with the camera, the cable can fall off. So this just secures the cable, hold it tight. So with the cage also there is a nether rail, and on the nether rail I'm using this also SmallRig Top Handle with a monitor mouth. So when I'm doing some low shots, you know, I can hold it like this. And on the monitor mount I have Feelworld F5 Pro 4K. And I've used this monitor before on my previous rigs, and this monitor so far it's good, but probably gonna update because the resolution I think can be better, and also when the sun is shining it's hard to, you know, see on this monitor because it doesn't have that much of a brightness. So I'm gonna use it probably for like a director monitor or something like that. So for this monitor I have to bought this HDMI cable, which is for Atomos monitors, but I'm using it here and it works. And then microphone. So I either use this wireless microphone from Comica that I'm filming on right now, or when I want some sound I'm using this Rode microphone. Also sometimes in some scenarios I don't even use a microphone, I just use the microphone that is in the camera itself. The sound, it doesn't sound like that bad, but you know, also with the Rode microphone it obviously sounds better. Then the lens. The lens I currently have for my FX3 is a Tamron 28 to 75mm f2.8. It's my first lens for the full frame Sony system, and so far I would say it looks good. I wanted first to buy the 24 to 70, the Sony Mark II, but it costed like 2 times more, so I went for this option, and probably gonna buy some G Master lens in the future. Then I also plan to buy some anamorphic lenses because I love the anamorphic look, and with the FX3 I think it's gonna be a great combination. Last thing on my setup is the ND filter, and I forgot the brand's name. How is it called? KF Concept. Okay, so the ND filter is a KF Concept. It's a variable ND filter, so I can, you know, have this thing on when I'm shooting outside and change it. I also use it in Insight because of the native ISO that is in this camera, so it's best for the camera to use either 800 or 12,800 ISO. 12,800 ISO. So when I wanted to boost the light, for example in some room that is not so bright, I put it on 12,800, and in some scenarios I have to put the ND filter on. So that's probably all from the rig. I also have a plan to buy maybe some side handle to hold it, but you know, the grip here with the cage is pretty good, I would say. When I want to switch, for example, to gimbal, I just take these things out. So I first take the HDMI cable. Obviously this, you probably need some screwer. Put the microphone off. And here I can just slide the whole monitor. And now I have it. I will probably add some plate and have the plate on, but because I'm filming on tripod right now, I have the plate on my other camera, and right now it's prepared for a gimbal. So now some things that I like. The first is the camera body design. It looks just beautiful, you know, sharp edges, the color, and also the integrated fan. Sony did a really good job building this camera. The next thing that I like is the opportunity to shoot the S-Log free, because I haven't used any log before, so it's a new thing for me, and the difference between the 10-bit and especially when you put some LUT and make the grade, it's completely different level and I love it. I'm still learning it. I've bought some LUTs from Phantom LUTs. That's one thing, and I'm also trying to do my own LUTs right now. The menu system and the whole approach from Sony. When I first unboxed the camera, I liked it because you can set up with your phone, and then I went through all the settings, and I like how complex the settings are. Some people said that the Sony system, the menu system, is hard to understand, but I feel like if you just give it 1 hour and walk through all the bars, maybe play some YouTube video, it's gonna be a pretty easy thing, and then you can learn it pretty fast. So there are many things that I like on this camera, but also there are some things that I don't like. I would not say that I don't like, but I feel like I've misunderstood them. And the first thing is autofocus. The first time I used this camera, I was like, yeah, it has the best autofocus, so I'm just gonna rely on the autofocus and it will do everything for me. And that is probably, I would say, wrong, because in some situations the autofocus is not the best option. You need to also learn how to use it properly. So, for example, when I had some subject with a background and then someone walked in the foreground, the focus switched on the person walking in front of my subject, and that's not what I wanted to have. So for this type of shot you need to switch to manual focus or lock to the focus of the person, and you need to understand how the locking works, and it can also take some time. Then sometimes the focus is not that fast, but it's probably because I don't have the G Master lens. The Tamron lens is super good, but of course compared to the Sony lenses, I would say that the autofocus on the Sony lenses is even more faster. The second thing is the size of files. The file sizes are way bigger than I shoot before, and for my computer, for example, sometimes it takes some time to load the footage, and it's also about the codec that I use. I've tried some different ones, but my computer, which I built in 2020, is struggling a little bit with the footage. But for example, on my M2 Air MacBook, the footage runs, I would say, smoothly, but compared to the rendering, this computer renders it faster. So I'm still struggling finding the best codec for both my desktop and for my MacBook Air. Hopefully I'm gonna solve this problem soon. So if you know how to achieve a better playback, let me know in the comment section below. So that'll be all from this video. So far I love this camera and I'm really looking forward to use it on future projects. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you have any questions, for example about this camera or something about filmmaking, you can let me know down in the comments and I will try to answer it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.